Hello, I'm Jennifer from Me Time. Today our tip video, we're going to talk about the different adhesives we use in our machine embroidery projects. Vicki is joining me today to go over everything we need to learn all about it.
Thank you for having me, Jen. It's really good to be here.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. This is an adhesive that almost everybody uses. It's the paper tape. Yeah, you want to tell us about paper tape?
Yeah, of course. So I love our Kimberbell paper tape because one, it's very easy to use, it adheres very well to the projects, and it doesn't leave any residues. So if you're stitching on something, it's a safe tool to use. At the same time, you can stitch on it and then you can remove it easy, and that makes just your sewing and embroidery experience so much easier and less frustrating.
Right. And you know what? Something that also helps when you're using paper tape is to have a tape dispenser.
Yes.
And so we have one in the Me Time shop at Me Time Delivered. And I love this one, this blue color. And it just makes using that paper tape so much easier, doesn't it?
So much easier. And I also love how sharp these teeth are, so that then you can just cut your tape very easily.
Right. Okay. And another adhesive that we have is this Clover double-sided tape. Do you want to explain how you'd use this in some projects?
Yeah, so this tape is nice. One, it's see-through, so you wouldn't see it, and I really like it because since it's double-sided, you can use it when you're doing your binding to kind of like put it, like stick it in place, and then you do your binding on it.
And then, like if you're doing the hand stitching on the back.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, it's really nice. I also like it to if you're doing like a decorative stuffy that you're not gonna be like manipulating a lot and you have a hard time doing like closing things by hand, you can just use this to close your projects. It's not, of course, a permanent solution, but it's a really good way of doing it if it's just like a decorative stuffy.
Okay.
I also like it for using it on zippers when you're lining, like putting a zipper, especially the zippers and the hoops sometimes. You don't want them to move around, so you can definitely use our double-sided basting tape.
Okay, that's great. Good to know. Okay, and this is one that I've used a lot as I have made my quilts. This temporary adhesive spray, it works great for larger areas, like when you're quilting, or even some smaller projects. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, so this is a great way to just also using it on quilts, right? When you're making that quilt sandwich, so that your fabrics and your stabilizers and your project batting, not all of those layers, they don't move around. I definitely like using this one. I also, just as a tip, I like having like a piece of cardboard where I put my fabric and my stuff on, so that when I'm spraying, I just make sure that if I get by mistake some of the spray outside, it's not getting on my table or
it's gonna protect your
it's gonna protect my working area. But this is a great temporary adhesive. It doesn't like your needle will stitch and will have no issues with it, and it can also be kind of washed away, and it doesn't leave any stains. Okay. So this is a good go-to product.
I love this one. All right, my next one is this is not an adhesive, but these are great to use when you're trying to hold things together, to sew them together, or what other ways might you use binding clips? Yeah,
so I love binding clips. Of course, you have your pins, but pins can sometimes get in the way of sewing, or I also like avoiding having to like poke my fingers.
Yeah,
I poke my fingers a lot. So when I can use my clips, they work really nice. They keep everything in place. And what I like is that as you sew, for example, your binding, is that they are easy to remove. So then you can just like keep going and you don't have to stop and remove the pin. But if you have clips, you don't stop and you just remove them easier.
Right. It's a great way to hold things together.
It is.
Great. Thank you, Vicki. Well, if any of these products are interesting to you, you can find them in our Me Time shop at metimedelivered.com. Thank you for watching today.